Good morning, guys. So there's my campsite. I'm kind of hidden behind there. I've moved spots actually. I'm really close to the bathrooms and the kitchen and everything. It's cool. Electricity, Wi-Fi, €8. It's just amazing. You know, there's some long-termers here, but they're really cool and they always say hi, bom dia. And yeah, there was a very noisy family that moved in next door to me last night, but it didn't really matter, and they've gone today. So yeah, really loving it here. Yeah, Villa Franca de Sia, XRA. I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. You can probably hear that I'm close to a major road, which is true, but actually beyond, I can't hear it when I'm beyond those trees and in where I'm camped. It's a shame you can't camp on this lovely lawn, but that's probably why it's so lovely, because people don't camp on it. Yeah, so today I'm taking a day off going into Lisbon itself. I'm just going to go into the local town, find a cafe, maybe do an hour's work. Yeah, back again. So there's an Audi, maybe you can see it. Supermarket, not the car. Kind of the other side of that motorway. It's really close, down those steps and under the motorway basically. Yeah, it's a minor thing, but I went there yesterday and oh my god, it's like, so the Audi and the Lidls here are very much like the ones I've experienced over most of Europe, including the UK, is that the selection of goods is very much targeted to the local population, which is actually you'd expect. I mean, why would they sell goods from other countries? Occasionally they do. I remember in the UK they had a big thing about German cheese and sausage and stuff, and they have a little bits like that you can pick up, and also they run kind of promotions on foreign goods, you know, occasionally, and for like a month. I think Lidl are doing English cheese at the moment, and which is great, so I love cheese, particularly English cheese. So yeah, but this Audi over there is like walking into one in Munich. It's like, seems more geared up for tourists and for Germans. So, and I have to say it's really cool because the selection of goods in some of the Audis and the Lidls in Spain and Portugal, as in all supermarkets, I'm not just blaming those two, that can be quite limiting. And you know, of course you adapt and you eat. I mean, you know, a good example is that I really like butter, but the main reason is lack of refrigeration. I very rarely use it. You can see the Audi there. Not that it's really going to be much interest to you. So instead of using butter, I use olive oil, virgin olive oil. Even if I have a sandwich, I'll use that as kind of almost like spread, and to be honest, it's, you know, it's just as good. Be nice to have butter for a change, but honestly, so you know, this is the thing, you adapt your kind of what you buy to what's available. But this place is great. They had loads of different like Asian sauces. I do try and make my own Asian sauces, and I have ingredients and I have spices and stuff, but sometimes it's just nice to buy like a black bean. You know, I think, you know, making a black bean sauce, for instance, would probably be beyond me if I didn't have the right ingredients. Yeah, so that, it was great. I bought a whole load of stuff in there, a whole bunch of stuff, so that's really cool. So this area, I'm not sure it's probably the best area. I don't think it's like dangerous, but I don't think the wealthier people of Lisbon would live here. But a little bit of a shortcut here into town. Town's about 10 minutes, and to get to the railway station to get into Lisbon, it's another cool bridge there. to get into Lisbon city itself. Some of the trains only take 25 minutes. It kind of depends if you get a quicker one or one that stops more. But so I'm basically, if you include the walk, and the faffing around buying a ticket, although it's quite easy because there's ticket machines. You know, I'm 45 minutes really door to door, if you want to call it door, from my van to pretty much the centre of Lisbon. So, which is amazing, really. I mean, you can like stay in a hostel in the middle of, you know, in another suburb, and then have to walk. You know, by the time you take a metros stop more and they're generally slower. You know, there's something to be said for being on a train route, and like I said, it's €2.25 each way, so £2 my money, which is a pretty sweet deal, really. But yeah, like I said, I'm having a day out of Lisbon. It's Saturday. I can imagine it. It's really busy, Lisbon. You know, of course, it's August. You know, it's summer. It's Europe. It's a capital city, and becoming a very appealing one, even more so. Of course, it's going to be really busy. So I'm just kind of having a day out of it. I did my washing this morning. Sorry, this is really dull stuff, but you know, this is a video diary, so I'm just kind of telling you what I've been doing. Yeah, I had a bit of a line as well. The other cool thing, so for most of the day I'm in the shade. I think just in the next hour or so I'm gonna not be in the shade, but it's kind of cool. So I've got my bedding hanging out, not drying, but airing. You know, I just washed them the other day, but I like to air them as much as possible. But anyway, yeah, the cool thing with shade is that I don't have to get up where I've been staying before. If there's no shade, really, you know, I have to get up by 9, half 9. It kind of depends. In Spain it was a little later because they're an hour ahead of us. But basically in Portugal by 9:30, if the van's been in the sun, yeah, I could open the doors and stuff, but then, you know, it's like, to be honest, I don't want to be lying around all day in bed anyway. But today it was just nice. Had a couple of glasses of wine last night. The local wine is pretty good, but that Aldi, so in the other supermarkets they only really stock Portuguese wine. They might do the odd bottle of French because there are a lot of French people here, and you know, French wine is quite, I'd say, quite distinct from Portuguese. Is fair enough, but they don't really do Spanish wine. You know, I'm a huge fan of Rioja. That Aldi actually did Rioja, which is cool. A bit more than you'd pay for it in Spain, but you know, it's like €4.50. So yeah, I do kind of prefer the old Spanish wine over the Portuguese, I have to say, but it's pretty good, the Portuguese. I've not really had that much of it because I'm just trying to cut down. Basically, well, not cut down, I'm just trying not to drink so much, really, because it's very easy when you walk into a supermarket and buy your groceries to pick up a bottle of wine when they're like €3 or €4, and you know, they're not even the cheap ones. You know, you can get them for less than that, and you know, it's very tempting, but you know, I try and watch what I drink. I wonder if people are actually in those buildings there, kind of living. There's like through that gap there, you can kind of see bits and bobs. Looks like it's an abandoned build. It was obviously the company, the builders, developers, obviously ran out of money, I guess. To be honest, this is the motorway here, one of the main motorways into Lisbon. I don't know if I'd want to really be living that close to a motorway. I know people do, but those apartments look big, and they look like they were maybe set for bigger I don't know, people with bigger budgets, I don't know, but just walking under the motorway now. And I'm just about in town, so this is my walk into town. Normally, if I'm not filming, I would do it a whole load quicker, because I generally walk quick, and I'm walking in my Crocs as well today, just so I can't really walk as fast in these. But I'm in no hurry anyway, just want to go get a coffee now. So yeah, I'll leave it there. It's been a bit of a rambling update, really, nothing, you know, too significant. But yeah, I'm really enjoying being on this campsite, and they're super cool. You know, I just pay when I leave, you know, whether that be 1 day, 1 month, 1 year. I mean, there's a couple of RVs in there that look like they will never leave. Well, one in particular that looks like something out of Breaking Bad. It's been there, you know, there's stuff growing out of the engine, so, but I still believe somebody's actually living in it. Maybe one of the campsite wardens, actually, but no, I'm not planning on living there forever. It's a cool bridge ahead there. I had to cross that to come into this place. Yeah, so they're super cool. It's just like, you know, when you're kind of ready to go, just come and pay what you owe and bon voyage. So Cafe Rock, I was going to give that a go, but I might go to my favourite one. Sometimes in Portugal, if you go to these places at the wrong time of day, they're absolutely rammed, and you can't, you know, this getting served is a real pain. I think, no, that looks a little quiet in there. I'll probably go to the one near the railway station. Yeah, so this town, there's not really much I can say about it of any interest. The only thing I do know is that had I continued doing the Camino de Santiago from Lisbon, you will walk through this town. In fact, a lot of people stay here because there's a pretty cool hostel. I've still got it marked in my on my Google Maps as somewhere to stay. I mean, as I said, I didn't actually do this section in the end. I ended up kind of skipping ahead just because the distances between towns was quite fast to get any decent accommodation, and yeah, you know, I just kind of gave up on it. But I was about a day short of this town, so but that's one thing it is famous for, is the Camino. So I've seen a couple of pilgrims. There's a train, obviously. I've seen a couple of pilgrims knocking around, you know, the usual kind of things, wearing like like sandals and limping, and, you know, looking very tanned as well, like they're like tan lines around the ankles where the socks are. So I don't know, on Saturday in Portugal, I guess everything's open. The other thing in Spain, like, everything pretty much shuts on a Sunday, and that's not the case here in Portugal. I think some stores do, but actually big supermarkets, they stay open, which is cool. Occasionally in Spain you'll find, I think in the tourist resorts, you'll find supermarkets that open on Sunday in Spain, but it's quite rare. I remember being in Barcelona once, couldn't find one, which I thought was odd, but anyway. Okay, well, I am going to leave it now. My arm's actually aching from holding the phone up, and I've been gabbling on now basically the length of the entire video. So okay folks, well, I'll catch up, you know, soon when I've got something a bit more interesting to say, probably when I'm leaving. So I'm going to leave in a few days, go up to Peniche and Nasser, which is very, very famous surfing places, and maybe finally get into the water and have a surf day. If Nasser is like, if the waves are big, then obviously I won't, because it has the record for the biggest wave ever surfed. So, which would, you know, I'm very much I'm not a beginner, but you know, I don't like big waves basically, so no way I'm going to go in when it's like, I think 6 foot. Anything over 6 foot doesn't sound much really, you know, it's like just slightly taller than me, but honestly when you're kind of lying down and you're surfing, it's quite intimidating, anything over 6 foot in my opinion. Okay folks, well that really is it now, and I'll catch you on the next video.